first of all, just want to honor you guys for coming. Like, do you realize how brave it is even for you to show up at this actual call? Who felt an energy shift in, like, when I said, like, hey, I'm doing this thing about retreats, which by the way, I've only mentioned 2 times, that, okay, maybe that's for me. Who felt that? Obviously you all did, because you're here. And I just want to tell you that that is incredibly brave. And why I know that you will be good at retreats is because you're already listening in. You were already listening to those internal calls. You were already listening to that intuition that's saying, yes, this is for you. Hey, pay attention. That's why I know you are going to be good at this, and you were meant for this. Can I tell you a little story? Oh, I was going to show you my art. I was going to show you this super amazing Chanel piece of art. Isn't that incredible? It's literally a 5-foot tall giant Chanel human. But before we get started, I had to show you that. And I want to tell you about how retreat started for me. So as you might know, I was a photographer. To get started, 10 years ago when Lucy was born, she was in the 6th percentile. Her body was literally this big. She was 5 pounds, and her head, you guys, was in the 99th percentile. 99th. She comes, and I get super into making her all of these bows. I really wanted like big, beautiful bows. So I made these bows and I started photographing them, and it kind of picked up a buzz and people were getting excited about it. And then my illustrious photography career started rolling. And the first ever retreat, I had a friend who said, hey, there's a woman named Abby Keel, and she does retreats for photography. I'm like, what is that? I've never heard of such a thing, but that seems like maybe what happened to you on this call seems like oh, maybe I should pay attention to that. So I went to her retreat, and it was my first moment of truly like stepping into the expansion of a retreat. And I don't remember that many things about it, to be honest. I remember the warm cookies as we were going there. I remember the drive there. I remember the drive. I had 2 tiny kids, and I remember driving to this cabin in Park City and just being like so excited, like something big is coming for me. Maybe somewhat of what you guys are feeling in your bones right now in this second is what I was feeling. And we get there, and I remember these warm cookies. I remember this beautiful cabin we were at. The retreat cost $750. I do remember that. And I remember being so proud of handing over that $750. I remember thinking like, I am a big girl. Like, I have made it in business. I remember bragging to my friends. I'm like, you guys, this retreat cost $750. And that was a huge deal for me. The expansion had already started the second that I handed over the money. As I am huge into energy and shifts in energy and feeling the energy. And I think one of the most beautiful parts about retreats as the hostess is that half the work is done by the energetic world and how you show up. When we have a money exchange, something happens and energy is exchanged. You don't even have to be in the room to have an energetic money exchange and for have something to be set in motion. I am obsessed with Newton's law that says something that is in motion is likely to stay in motion. Something at rest will stay at rest. You coming to this call, put a little baby energy into motion. And if you don't stop, it is likely to stay in motion and gain momentum. How magical is that? I truly feel that when people sign up for Suzy School, the work starts. The work starts weeks and months before they arrive because of the energetic exchange. So I go to the retreat. I go to Abby's retreat, and I remember a couple really funny things. I remember I was charging $35 for a newborn session. $35. That's less than my family's Chick-fil-A order, mind you. And I wrote on a piece of paper. I remember, I can tell you exactly the pen I was using. I can tell you the feel of the pen on the paper. And I wrote, I will charge $450 for a family session. And in that moment, that felt wildly expansive to me. $450, but I felt something. I felt an energy shift when I wrote that down. That was my very first experience with seeing something written down come true in my life. And now, of course, at every retreat, I'm like, same thing. Let's write it down and watch the magic of it coming true. I remember that. And I remember Abby Keel saying, I have a housekeeper. And I'm like, what? You have a housekeeper? That was the first time in my life that it occurred to me that a photographer could make enough money to have a housekeeper. And that, you guys, was the most expansive idea of the retreat, which actually still to this day, the housekeeper still feels like wildly expansive and magical to me. I don't remember what else Abigail said, but I remember being on fire. I remember the expansiveness. And when you, as the hostess, you're going to do the same thing. They are not going to remember what you said, but they're going to remember something that changes them. And what I really love is that it isn't all about what we say, but it is about trust. It is about, they have to have established trust in you, and they have to learn to be able to trust themselves so that they can take whatever information you are teaching and implement it into your life. But I want you to feel that pressure is a little bit off. I truly believe, what I really think is that God, universe, is super excited that there are people in this Zoom calls raising their hands and saying and stepping up and saying, yeah, I want that. I want to be that person. I volunteer myself as tribute to bring women together. That, you guys, is pioneer shit right there that you are all doing. I cannot overstate what that means. Not all women are like you. Not all women are volunteering as tribute. That is a huge deal. And I can promise you could get up and say A, B, C, D, E, F, G at your retreat, and the universe is going to send good vibrations, and it will win. I trust that. I really do trust that. And let me tell you about my first retreat that I hosted. So I was back in the day when I was Simply Suzy's. Who was here when I was Simply Suzy's McDonald's mom? Anyone? Oh, I love you. You guys are the people that just stay with me forever. You have seen me go from all over the map. But when I was Simply Suzy's, the McDonald's mom, I was driving around one day with my kids in the car, and I had this bright idea to host a retreat. I don't think it was my idea. I think it was an idea that was downloaded to me. And I'm so grateful for the idea. And I went home and I took immediate action on the idea. I didn't sit and I didn't think, hey, Todd, should I do this idea? Do you think I should do this? Ask my friends, ask my family. I literally, while the kids were still asleep in the car, I went and I got on my cell phone and I said, hey, everybody, I'm going to host a retreat in Island Park, Idaho in 3 weeks. I took immediate action. What the hell was I doing? I knew nothing. 3 weeks? Who can plan something in 3 weeks? Apparently I thought people could. And magic of the universe, having your back, being so freaking grateful that you volunteered as tribute, can make people's lives happen and do whatever it needs to do in 3 weeks. I want to show you pictures of my first retreat, but technology hates me today. So I won't be shocked if this doesn't work, but I'm going to try. I'm going to share with you my desktop. Oh, no, of course. I have to
Suzy, I'm here if you want me to take over.
Oh, yes. Oh, well, can you show my desktop?
The presentation?
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Tanya, for coming back. Tanya is the one that my whole life basically is run by, and I can't even look at a computer without Tanya like literally doing fun for me. So thank you, Tanya. Okay, these are pictures from my first retreat, which was in Island Park, Idaho. Can I tell you the inconvenience that is Island Park, Idaho? You have to fly to a tiny airport. It costs $900 bajillion and then drive 2 hours to get to this place, Island Park, Idaho. And then I did it in October. Nobody goes to Island Park in October. There is snow. Look at these pictures. There is snow, and then we are also on a boat. I thought it would be a good idea to go boating in October. What is actually wrong with me? We wore snowsuits on the boat. The next day it snowed. But it was a magical, magical time. The place we did it had green carpet. It was my cabin. It had green carpet. It was not a vibe, but the vibration, because we all came together, it was absolutely beautiful. These women in these photos, the top right photo. This is Carissa. You might know her as the Sanding Blonde. So the Sanding Blonde, she came to my first retreat and she was a single mom, and we were trying to think like, okay, what could we do? My first retreat was about Instagram. And she just kind of said an offhand comment. She was flipping furniture at the time. And she said an offhand comment. She's like, I have an Airstream and I want to finish it someday. Maybe I'll sell it. And my ears perked up and I'm like, I've always wanted an Airstream, always my whole life. Like, I'll buy your Airstream. I'll buy your Airstream right now. I bought her Airstream that was literally nothing. And I bought it from her on the spot. And because of that, launched her career. Now she just built her own like 17,000 square foot shop where she rebuilds and refinishes Airstreams. Miracles happen at retreats. Miracles happen when people come together. That's why I know that the universe is helping. Little comments can turn into entire careers. Chris on the left. Then you might notice this gal in the middle. This gal is Jamie. Jamie, unstuckologist. She is still to this day a Suzy school coach. She didn't even, the first retreat, her husband applied. She didn't even apply, but something in me said, choose her. So she came and she's never left my side ever since. This is also Chelsea Christensen on the right, who is also a coach. Came to my first retreat in the most inconvenient place ever on 3 weeks notice. Miracles, you guys. I want you to trust that miracles will happen for your retreat. I promise you they will happen. It's also why I recommend hosting multiple retreats. Tanya, you can take that down. Thank you so much. I want you to expect the miracles, and they don't all have to come at your hand. When you can gather the right group of women. One more story, and then I'll be done with story time, I promise. Maybe I shouldn't promise that. One more story. I had an attendee named Leanne, who is this amazing 6-year-old woman. We call her the grandmother of Suzy School. She is literally, she takes care of all of us. She takes care of my entire network. And she said, hey, there's this man I know named Matt, and he really needs to come. I really want him to come to Suzy School. I know he's a perfect fit. And I'm like, huh? Like a dude at Suzy School? Like, are you sure? Okay. Like, I'll trust you. And he was a teacher. It didn't even make any sense why Matt would come to the retreat. 0 cents, okay? He comes to the retreat. And then there was another woman there. And through some of the ways that I do retreats, there's lots of emotional uncovery and healing that goes on. And this woman says something. She's had some trauma with men in her past. And Matt took her and he looked her in the eyes. I don't remember exactly what he said, but what she said back, she said, I feel like I was just seen by a man for the first time in my entire life. And tears streamed down her face. Not all of the miracles will come because of you, but there will be miracles because you raise your hand and say, I volunteer as tribute. I will be the brave one to do this, to bring us together. I have full chills over my whole body because I see it in you, brave women, that miracles, big and small, will happen because of your bravery. And I'm so, so, so grateful for that. So does it matter? Does it matter what you teach? Am I here to teach you guys all how to be little Suzies running around in dresses, bopping around? Am I teaching you to do that? No, I can't teach you to be Suzy. Just like I can't be Savannah, I cannot be Kelsey. I don't even necessarily totally care what your retreat is about. I believe that we can make a retreat about like floral design, or maybe Bridgerton watching retreat. It doesn't matter. In some ways, it matters what you do within your container and that you create your container. You will bring people into this container, and you will trust that whatever you feel called to lead it about, that the magic will happen within the container. I have to show you, but what is an important thing that happens in the container? What I believe is the most important part. Tanya, will you pull up the ladder, please? I am absolutely obsessed. Obviously, you know, Jovi is literally all about frequencies. It's all about the unseen frequencies. So I learned about this vibrational, they call it a scale. I like to think of it as a ladder. We're all vibrating beings. We know this because when we walk into a room and people are fighting, we literally feel their vibes. They do not have to say, we're fighting, to you to be like, oh, this is incredibly tense. We are vibrating beings. Our feelings have vibrations. Our emotions have vibrations. Us as humans, we have a baseline vibration where we live. The lowest vibration you could possibly get is here in fear and grief and despair and powerlessness. You come up to insecurity and guilt and unworthiness. Then there's jealousy and hatred and rage and anger and discouragement and blame. These are all low vibration feelings. And these things, and according to the law of attraction, attract low vibrational things. Then there's worry, doubt, blame, disappointment, frustration, and clear at the top of the ladder, there's joy, there's appreciation, there's empowerment, there's freedom, there's love, there's passion. This is where we have to live. This is where we have to live. I love someone saying, this is in David Hawkins' book, this is the map of consciousness. This is science. This is literally not psychology, it's science. There's enthusiasm, eagerness, there's happiness. There's this one right here, this blue one that says positive expectation, belief, and optimism. I have been to retreats that I was like, oh, these are not my people. And the leader is making me feel I'm not totally loving this. Because what happens as when we as the leader say we are operating a place of worry and discouragement, I'm obsessed with tuning forks. What happens is, I don't think you can hear this, but maybe you can. Can you hear that? You hear that? Cool. What happens is that you as a leader, people will tune to what you are vibrating at. If you are tuning to a place of discouraged, maybe you're insecure, maybe you are the insecure leader, people will feel it and your retreat will feel kind of icky and not super great. When you are coming from a place of these top of the ladder, passion, expectation, belief, optimism, service, they will feel in your container. Even if you are talking about Bridgerton, it could change their actual lives just by your vibrations. Thank you, Tanya. To make the retreats go well, we need to bring people up the ladder. What I believe one of my purposes is on this planet is to help people I come in contact with that are not repelled by the two that I create, pull them a little bit up the ladder. I believe that's my purpose. I believe I will do that in 100 billion different ways over my lifetime, but I believe in my helping people up the ladder. And I believe that you must have a similar belief because you, my friends, are tuned into the same frequency as me, or you would not be here. You would not be here. So what do you guys want to host your retreats about? I want to hear that in the chat. Let's hear what you guys are thinking about. And if someone says Bridgerton, please invite me. Please, for the love, invite me to your Bridgerton retreat. Maybe I should throw one. I seem to be very passionate about Bridgerton. Okay, aesthetics, self-love and healing, real estate, betrayal trauma, fitness, author mentorship, eco-conscious living, growth mastermind for rural women, business startups, songwriting. Please invite my daughter. Building your ideal lifestyle, release of harmful emotions, crafting female leaderships in retail, wedding photography, rural business, rest renewal for moms, self-care, floral, no clue, connection, creative processing, professional organizing, helping women build themselves again, picnics, holistic wellness, embracing creative within you, self-development. This is incredible. This is incredible. All being unashamedly you, hypnotherapy, menopause in life, becoming a conscious creator. So good, you guys. You are all being called to your own. We don't all teach the same thing. We all aren't called to bring people up the ladder in the same way. That's why we were all called here, because it takes every single one of us to do the work we're supposed to do of getting people up the ladder through crafts, through eco-conscious living, through teaching about menopause. What is going to happen in that container if you are good as a leader? I don't care what you talk about, but it will be incredible. That's gorgeous. Okay, who felt when they wrote that down like a little bit of like, yes, 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 write it down, and then you're like, oh, that made me feel scared. Who felt that? Yes, I love it. Totally normal. You're like feeling empowered, and then you immediately go down to the ladder of like, and I'm straight up here in doubt. Hello, doubt. Nice to see you again. What we have to do to make our retreats, this container amazing, is stay centered at that top of the ladder in passion, in joy, in love, and in service. We have to stay at the top of the ladder and have steadiness there. Otherwise, what's going to happen is people will come to our retreat, and if we're going all over the place from passion to shame all the time, that vibration is not going to feel good to our attendees. So we have two things that we have to work on. Most people in the retreat world, I don't actually know who's teaching us. I don't ever really look at like other competitors or whatever, but I'm assuming that most people, and maybe you thought you would come here and learn about the retreat, the creation. but there are two vital parts. There's the creator, which is you, and there's the creation, which is a retreat. And when both of those things are tuned to the highest frequency, Tanya, can you pull up that Albert Einstein quote for me? That there is literally nothing you cannot do. Everything is energy. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. That is Albert Einstein. You guys, thanks, Tanya. When we tune in ourselves and we tune up our retreats, I can promise you, when you are living at the top of that ladder, I promise you, your retreat cannot fail. It can be no other way. As Albert Einstein says, this is not psychology, this is science. Okay, so you're like, okay, cool, that sounds great. Top of the ladder. How exactly does one get up there? Okay, it depends how the work of what I'm proposing that we do together is to help you to stay in the top of the ladder. Your thoughts determine where you live on the ladder. So we'll get to dive into thought work that is going to literally change your life. I believe it literally will change your life. Your retreat, success or failure, either if it's a big hit or a big miss, will depend on your ability to stay on the top of the ladder. So what makes it a big hit or miss? Okay, I want you to write this down. We're going to cover 6 steps. If you are in front of you, write this down. The number 1 is the group. Oh, the group. I am like obsessed with the fact that I'm seeing so many of my Suzy School students in here. I could kiss you all on the freaking faces. You have been in Suzy School and you're like, yeah, it's wild, right? That you are my people. Monica, I'm gonna unmute you, sis, and I'm gonna chat with you and tell me about the people that were at your retreat and like the vibe of you guys together. Can you?
I don't know if it's explainable other than like they are my sisters deep down in my being. We couldn't have put the more perfect people in a room.
And what has happened since you've just left Suzy School? What has happened since within you guys' friendships?
I mean, it's amazing. We talk every day. We're in a big Marco Polo group. We have all toured each other's houses on our phones. Like we every single day are sharing things in our lives. And they're my closest friends. And I just met them like 3 weeks ago.
That is insane. Monica, I love that. And they are safe in this container. And the beautiful part is you guys will remain in this beloved container together forever if you choose. Thank you.
Yeah. And I have my tuning fork right here.
Yes, you do. Tuning fork. I love you. I love it. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tanya, unpin her. I don't really know how Zoom works. Okay. So one of the most important things is that you have an aligned group of humans. How you get the right people in the room is done through marketing. It's done through where you operate. I pull everyone into that room that literally is like me. And that is how you can ensure that your people are going to come, is if you are operating consistently in a great high place, you're going to get high people who will become each other's people. You introduce people that to each other that like become important to people, and they will never forget you. You will always be one of your favorite people as just the facilitator. It's one of the most beautiful parts, but it is crucial. It is crucial to have a good group because it can ruin or make your retreat. The second is trust. Trust. There must be intimacy and trust within the group. And there has to be trust with you as the leader. There has to be trust. The third, you have to have a teaching and a curriculum and a format that supports your goal. For example, my goal at everything is to bring people up this ladder, get them tuned to a higher frequency. That is my goal, is to bring you out the ladder. That is my goal. But maybe your goal is to feel deeply connected with others or yourselves. Maybe it is to grow in confidence. Maybe it's develop a skill. Maybe you're hoping people find healing. Maybe you're hoping they find clarity. And it's important that the format in which we do things lends itself to what you hope your goal is. Having a clear mission in mind. Your retreat, write this down. because I'm so freaking excited because I see your little wheels turning about your own retreat. Emily, I see you. I see your wheels turning about your retreat. It must be created with the transformation you want in mind from the ground up. It must be created with the desired transformation in mind. I'm going to say it again. It must be created with the desired transformation in mind from the ground up. So you want to think, okay, what do I really want for the women sitting in this room? Craft, person who said crafting. What do you really want? What do you want crafting to make them feel? You want them to come in to do crafts and feel disconnected and leave connected? Do you want them to come in and maybe feel like discouraged and leave with joy? Think through the transformation of exactly what it is that you want to make people feel. Next is going back to that trust piece. That trust is actually created it's created in all of the marketing, but it is created. You will lose or win trust for people in the 3 weeks leading up to your retreat, in communication, in environmental factors, in letting them know what's going on. You have the opportunity to make sure that there's trust established there. So they come in and you're not playing catch up. They're just coming in, they're like, let's go. Let's go. I trust you. Thank you for being so professional. The next, of course, is a leader that is safe. A leader that is safe is not operating in a place of like, okay, attendee, can you shut your mouth so I can keep talking? Okay, attendee, you are triggering some fear in me right now. Okay, attendee, you are triggering a little shame in me right now. Because that's what we do. If we are not like firmly planted, both feet steady, then it's really, really easy. Because my first retreat, Chelsea Christensen walked into my first retreat. I had like 20,000 followers and she had 40. And I was like terrified of her. I'm like, I'm genuinely scared of you and very intimidated by you. And I could have let that intimidation just knock me down to a place of doubt and worry. And then our interaction, like vibrationally and energetically, would have been not very good. But I was steady and I was passionate. And that ended up being one of the most beautiful relationships of my life. That is the magic formula, you guys. The magic formula is the magic formula of what I just told you, what those 5 things are. The magic formula of the marketing is a whole nother piece, but that is a conversation for a whole nother call. But I believe in the marketing that we do, I can absolutely help you attract the right people so that yours is an actual hit. And then the other magic formula is you, but you are already magic. You already have every single thing you need inside of you. You just have to be brave enough. I want you to look at me and the only thing that is standing, Maddie, I love you. The only thing that is standing in the way is your fear. It's your fear. Hey, Tanya, will you pull back up that ladder? And if we look at fear, let's look at just a quick case study and how do we get this fear up the ladder? Fear is a very, 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 very low vibration emotion. And I don't even care if you only in this call can raise this from fear to insecure. I will still have done my job in pulling you up the ladder. How do we get up the ladder? That is with our thoughts. So you probably just thought something like, there's no way. You might have thought something like, I'm not as outgoing as Suzy. There's no way I can do that. Let's change that. Let's change that to something like, what is something that could replace that thought? A thought of I am me, and that will be enough. Immediately replacing the thought is going to be the work of preparing you to do your retreat. Maybe you're feeling discouraged. Oh, I've tried a retreat before and like 17 people showed up. I'm worried that no one's ever going to show up before. What if you could take that discouragement and then go into contentment with, if I get 6 people to show up, that is living in my purpose for 6 people. That is a really big deal. And I promise in that one thought, your entire vibration will change. It's absolutely incredible. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you. So that's the magic formula. That is the magic formula. The magic formula also lies in you. And that's the formula for success. I know you're looking and you're like, okay, so how much success are we talking about? Because I'm like talking about menopause here. How successful could I literally possibly be talking about menopause? Let me show you. Let me show you and tell you that I've worked, you guys, this ain't my first rodeo. We have had super introverted people host retreats and kill it. We've had anxious people host retreats and absolutely kill it. We've had DIYers. We've had cowgirls. We've had MLM people. We've had people that do content creation, and all absolutely crushed it. Because is it about necessarily what we teach? No, it's about the vibration and what goes on inside of this amazing and safe container that you create. So how successful could this be? I know people hear this all the time. They're like, events, workshops, retreats, those are not profitable. Those are not profitable. Virtual is the only way to go. Really, that's the only way to scale. That's just straight up a lie. Okay, that is like, because they don't know how to do it. They're like, well, mostly let's also call it out. Most people are not brave enough to stand in front of the room and try to lead something. That is not a comfortable place for 99% of the population. And actually, guess what? It's not going to actually be all that comfortable for you either. But what I can promise you on the other side, you guys, of hosting this retreat is a damn powerful you. It is a you that you have never met before. It is a you that you will never go back to old you. After you stand at the front of that room one time, you're changed forever. You'll be changed forever. So the question, how successful can I be teaching menopause? Like, just tell me, Suzy, tell me. Okay, I will, Tanya, can you pull up some of the case studies? Okay, this is Kenna. Sweet Kenna is a DIY blogger. In one retreat, she pulled in $60,000. Freaking love Kenna. Love, love, love Kenna. She didn't even teach DIY. She taught business stuff and Instagram. Then we have next, we have another client added $96,000 in 1 year, hosting a few retreats. Another added $36,000 with one retreat. Another added $25,000 with 2 retreats. And Summer, I freaking love Summer because she tried a couple different retreats and has honed in on her, like, okay, this is exactly what I teach. All the content you see from Summer on Instagram will funnel you to buy her retreat and come. Her entire strategy is built off of getting people to do retreats, which retreats are amazing because you don't have to work all day, every day. You get to go a couple weekends a year and crush it. It's so fun. Okay, next we have the next person, Brittany freaking Ballard. I love that this number is 222 because I'm obsessed with angel numbers, but $222,000 in 1 year. 1 freaking year, you guys. 1 year. She is a MLM essential oils gal. And then we have grand finale. I made last year $600,000 net income from retreats. That's after my expenses, after renovating an entire skirch, paying my coaches incredibly well. This is what I took home in my pocket. Thank you, Tanya. But here's the exciting part. Those numbers are cool, right? Those numbers are exciting. Who's excited about those numbers? Here's the freaking magic of retreats. Did I need 12,000 people to make those numbers? No, you need 12. How much easier is it to get 12 people excited about what you're doing than $12,000? I think 12,000 people. I think retreats are the greatest hack ever because those 12 people are going to come to your retreat. You're going to freaking change their life, pull you up the ladder. They will not be able to stop talking about you. And they will bring their friends, who bring their friends, who bring their friends, who bring their friends. If you do it correctly, it will be no other way. Once you match the frequency of what you want and you are aligned there, it will be no other way. You literally cannot be stopped. Who has heard of a little lady named Sharon Says So? Freaking love Sharon. She was, when she came to my retreat a year ago, 2 years ago, her name was three Irish girls was her Instagram name. She was a photographer. And we taught her all of these amazing things. The container of that retreat group was absolutely incredible. And just like in all retreats, she met her people that are still her people to this day. And Sharon Says So talks about Suzy School all the time. Her network is now like 900,000 followers. Like, what a gift to me. I did not Once you have the right people in the container, I promise you, do a good job. They'll tell their friends, they'll tell their friends, they'll tell their friends, and they will never stop. It is absolutely incredible. So following you doesn't have to be huge. I don't want you guys to be intimidated by the fact that like I don't have all these people, because most likely the people that come to your first retreat are going to be people that pretty much know you anyways. So really where you are starting right now is perfect. You do not have to wait until you're ready, because you will never be ready. You will be standing at the front of the room. That thing will be starting in 30 seconds. You'll be like, shit. What have I done? What have I done? What have I done? I promise you that will happen. Happen to me every single time before I get on this call. I'm like over there saying bad words intermixed with prayers all the same time. You will never be ready, but it will be magical. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. If you keep the ladder in mind and you have a really great goal. So they're the greatest funnel feeder I do beyond the making $600,000. Great, amazing. Those people actually feed the other part of my business. They feed the funnel of Jovi, our top Jovi. Guess who they are? All retreat gals. Everyone that has come to the retreat. There's this arm of business. Do not underestimate this arm of business. Do not underestimate it. Promise me you will not underestimate it. The world is underestimating it. That's why it's so exciting for all of us. Everyone we know has like 17 online courses, correct? I always say about retreats, zig when everyone else is zagging, zag, zig, whatever way that goes. Everyone's like online, online, online. That's why it is such a freaking special gift when someone's like, I want to bring us together and do this thing in person, because people are not doing it. People are not brave enough, but you, my beautiful friends, you are here and you are saying yes. Who is so excited right now? Yes, let's go. They are absolute magic. I don't want you to believe what people say, that it can't be done. Please, 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 because I'm going to teach you how it can be done. I am going to teach you how it's going to be done. Not only have I done it on myself, I've done it on multiple different personality types, multiple different niches. It can be done. You don't even need followers. I guarantee if you go to a church, you can host a retreat. You're good. You know humans, you're good, right? Who wants to get started? Who's like, yes, let's freaking go. Let's do this already. Okay, I don't work slow. I have one mode, and that is either complete resting, not moving, or like 700 miles an hour. That is how we do things. So what I'm proposing is, I'm literally so excited, is we are going together do a 30-day sprint. A 30-day sprint that we do together. In that sprint, there is going to be coaching. We have got to focus on two things. We have to focus on you, the creator, and what you are creating. And so there will be 2 Zoom calls a week, and we will spend the time together honing in on exactly what do you want to teach? How can you show up in service? How can you attract people that care what you're talking about? How do you literally not have to chase anyone? You don't have to chase when you do it right. You literally just attract. There's no chasing involved. How do you do that? How do you set up a sales page? How do you get people to want to come? How do you know how to price the dang thing? How do you know when to host it, where to host it, who to invite? Do they have allergies? We need emergency contact info. We need all the forms. We need all the email flows. You get all of that. And the most magical part, magical part is you get to join us in my container. And I promise you, the magic that happens when people are in my containers is mother freaking unstoppable. I really want you in there. I really want you in there. And I know what's going to stop you is you're going to say, I'm not ready. I don't have the money. I'm terrified. I don't think I can actually do this. Let me address a couple of those things. Okay. I'm not ready. Like I said, that's never actually going to happen, but you can be a heck of a lot more ready than you were yesterday. Number 2, you're learning from the damn best. I really am really great at what I do. And I will teach you how to be really great at being you. I am really great at being me. And I promise I'm not going to teach you to be me. I'm going to teach you to be really freaking great at being you. And you will attract the right people. I don't even if you did not even host a retreat and you just came to the coaching sessions, I really truly believe your life would change actually forever. 2, the money. You're like, okay, the money. Oh, by the way, this is more coaching. My coaching clients are $50,000, but and they don't get near as much one-on-one time with me. You did, one-on-one time with me. And these, you will get 8 calls, 8 hours, 2, 4, 6, 8 over our 30 days, more than 8 hours spent with me pouring in what I can teach you to be the best parts of you. You will get that. Also, the amazing part is that you're developing a business model that pays. Who can start a business for $5,000? You know how much it costs to start a McDonald's these days? Like 2 million, 2 freaking million. But you get to start this whole retreat arm. What we're doing is a $5,000 container, a $5,000 container where it is not just here's the forums, here's how you do it, gotta bing, bada bing, bada go. You are in this container that really builds a business for $5,000. It's like actually kind of a joke. But do you know why I'm so passionate about doing it for $5,000 only? Is because I had a vision given to me. I had a vision given to me as I was sitting in Suzy's school. I closed my eyes and I saw groups of women. I saw hundreds of groups of women that I wasn't leading. And they were an extension of me. And I know that is coming past because I see you on this call. That vision, you are part of it. You are part of it. It gives me chills up and down my whole body because of the miracles that are going to come because you literally volunteered as tribute and said yes. I promise you that in our container, I am going to develop the hell out of you as that creator so that you can stand at the front of that room and feel freaking good. You can stand on your Instagram or your email or in person when you're talking to people about it. And when you talk about it, you are not coming from a place of like doubt, worry, shame. You will know that people are just going to be throwing money at you. It is not going to be hard to fill Suzy Holman student retreats. It will not be hard. It will not be hard. When you put in the work, when we're gonna dig into some super fun stuff. We're gonna get into the ladder and we're gonna pull you up and you're gonna pull each other up. And you are not going to be the same person as you were before this sprint. Oh my gosh, it's going to be literally so fabulous. There's gonna be all sorts of the logistical side. You will have all of that too, because that really is important. Really, I should not have brought people. I made all the mistakes for you. Should I have brought people to Island Park, Idaho, 3 hours out of nowhere? No, I should not have done that. I learned all of the lessons for you the hard way. The exciting part is the business model that we are creating for you that literally can stay. You saw those numbers, 96,000, 222,000, 600,000. But the exciting part is the coaching that stays in your soul forever. And don't you freaking dare put a price on what we are going to put into your soul and how you are going to change. What I think that the biggest miracle is going to be of this container is the shifts in all of you that serve you and your families forever. And then can you just imagine? This is what I imagine. I imagine this in my head right now. All of you guys are holding up like a crystal, like a ruby or whatever rock. Close your eyes and envision like whatever shiny gemstone you see that you are attached to. And you hold it up in the air in a city on a bright day. Everyone's holding up their rock and light is reflecting and bouncing off, and you're slowly moving that gemstone left and right, calling to people with your light, saying, hey, I'm over here, come to this light. And then those people see you with that rock, see you slowly turning it, bravely raising your arms and feeling the courage to show a little bit more of their shiny gem too. The light within this container, you guys, could light up the freaking world. There are women that need us. We're not doing this work just for ourselves. There are women who are waiting to be brought to the women that they need. You were called to this call, you brave souls, for a reason. And I really don't want you to doubt that. I really don't want you to fear, shame, sabotage your way out of that. You were meant to be here. You were meant to do this big work. You did not put this idea in your soul. I believe this idea was put in your soul because God, creator, universe, source needs you to do something. This is not of yours. I don't know if I would volunteer to speak to thousands of people. That seems scary. I kind of want to watch Bridgerton by myself. You're being called to something great, you guys. And I hope that you accept the call. And I promise you to do my absolute best to help you up the ladder. Last thing before we go. What I think is all that we do. When I said at the beginning of the call, like, you little pioneers, you guys are freaking pioneers. How many people do you know host retreats? Really, truly not that many. And I think people that host retreats are I took a plastic spoon and I started digging my way to Island Park, making my own road. Like, I don't know where this is going, but I'm going to dig. And then people can come behind me with shovels. Those 7 women that hosted retreats that I taught them how, they came behind with shovels and we learned through them. And now you guys get to come behind with excavators. And then there's going to be women that come behind you with dump trucks. And we're going to build a 6-lane highway where women feel freaking better. And we are going to build that together. That is our work. If we are crafting, if we are menopausing, we are going to make people feel better. You are called to do this. And I seriously cannot even wait to get into the container, which is why I'm like, and let's start next week. I literally can't wait. I can't wait. And Source cannot wait. It's like, now, you go now. You go now. We hold up those gems now. So what I'm proposing, $5,000. There's payment plans. There's all that minutia. You'll get like an email with all of that. We start you a business that changes your life first and then others. The ripple effect of you throwing that gem that we held up, imagine yourself throwing that into a pond. That ripple of your bravery will be felt for miles and miles and miles. You put this in motion by coming to this call. Something in motion is likely to stay in motion unless stopped. Do not let your husband, your friend, your whatever is going to come to stop you, because they don't want people to do that. They're like, let's not gather women. That's dangerous. When women get together, magic shit happens. And me as down below does not want this to happen. But we are called to do the magic shit. Okay? So what questions do you have? What questions? Drop them in the chat and I will answer all of the questions that you have. Your retreat is being announced Monday, Dakota. That's so exciting. This is amazing. I'm announcing my next retreat after this. Amazing. Oh my gosh, Hannah, tell me you're a boy mom without telling me you're a boy mom, using trucks as metaphors. Yes, it's very true. Okay, can a retreat be a day only thing? Absolutely. A retreat could be a workshop. It can honestly be a 3-hour thing. It really doesn't have to be a full thing for it to work. Days and time zones for calls. We were thinking 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, Mondays and Thursdays, but we were going to take the poll of the group to see, okay, when can we most accommodate people? Is a CPA attorney essential for the first retreat? No. You should get a very basic contract in place. You will, in our container, learn all you need to know about contracts. Hold your nerve. I know I can fill my retreat for June, but the marketing needs me to hold my nerve right now and keep going. Yes, your marketing needs you to stay at the top of the ladder, remain at the top of the ladder. When do we start? Next Thursday. And you will be matched. There will be this big outer container and you will be matched within a little small container so that there's only like 10 to 12 women in your little baby container for you to do this with. We are going to develop our sales pages together. We are going to develop our curriculums together. We are going to start this arm of business together. You will get specifics on what different calls are. That's coming in all of the stuff. You will be a part of this. I am the face on all of the calls. That will just be me. You will get so freaking sick of being on the calls with me that you'll want to die. That is literally me. Good, excellent question. What if you don't know what sorts of retreat you want to host? Awesome. We'll find that too. Do you have co-coaching us, or will it be you in the sub-containers? Sub-containers, you have a leader who will like make sure that you guys are like saying nice things to each other, which of course you are, because you're all my vibe. And then I am the leader of the big main group. There won't be any, like, I wish I could do one-on-one interactions with all of you, but we don't have time for that. I feel like my people are on this call. Please come join me. I know, it's so good. It's so good. What if I know all the things are recorded? Absolutely, all the things are recorded. So you'll be able to see that. And then you'll have the big groups, and then you will also have homework that you as your small group container of 10 will work through together. So someone says my niche is super narrow and different. Who cares? It's not about the niche. It's about what goes on in that magical container. I really hope you guys join my freaking container. We are going to email you all the information after this call. We'll text it to you. I'll be assaulting you every 2 different ways. so that your little fear does not talk you out of doing what you know in your heart you want to do. I cannot wait to see you guys in there. Okay. 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 Now we just go about our day on fire, ready to hold up our gems for all the people. Let's go hold up our gems today. Okay. I love you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Bye.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.